Hello there, boxing fans around the world. Thanks for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. Rather than starting off with the big win that Leigh Wood had over Michael Conlan on the weekend, I'm going to start off with a story out of Panama, a card that took place at the Majestic Casino and featured all women fighters. The Majestic Casino in Panama wore women's perfume on Friday night, being the scenario of intense professional fights, all female, in the first evening of the 37th edition of the Knockout Drugs, in which the Mexican Jessica Neri became the first WBA women's bantamweight world champion by dethroning the Argentinian Jessica Bopp. Neri had been out of action for a year and a half, but she's brave and tough to break the 23 title defensive of the now former champion. She fought toe-to-toe, and at the end, she was able to pull out a very important victory for her career. Clara Lascarat from Argentina won the WBA super flyweight gold belt after 10 rounds against the local Natalie Delgado after another split decision. Since this was an elimination bout, Lascarat will soon be waiting to go for the world title. The night also had 3 complimentary fights, one of them being in the lightweight category with Marianne Salazar defeating Mexico's Veronica Zaluga by points in a duel of great exchange. Earlier, the experienced Panamanian Chantel Martinez returned to the ring, defeating the Colombian Monica Henao. And finally, also from Colombia, Paulina Angel drew in four rounds against Mexico's Itzel Reyes Grijalva. The World Boxing Association said they're very proud of these great women, warriors of the ring, as well as every woman worldwide in the International Women's Month, and thanked them all for their participation in this new edition of the historic Knockout Drugs Festival. Congratulations to them all. Alrighty, let's move over to Nottingham, where most of us likely saw an incredible comeback from Leigh Wood, who retained his WBA featherweight title after a final round stoppage, and one hell of a stoppage it was, over Michael Conlan. That took place on this past Saturday evening. The fight got up to an incredible start, as we all noticed, as Conlan, 16-1 with 8 knockouts, knocked down Wood with a huge shot at the end of round 1. Wood, who's now 25-2 with 15 knockouts, dug in deep and displayed immense bravery, getting up and having some success of his own as the bout progressed. Wood claimed the knockdown of his own in round 11, but the view was that Conlan was still ahead on the cards. Wood then ensured it wouldn't go to the judges, knocking out Conlan in the 12th and final round to earn the win. Conlan had to be sent to the hospital, I might add, and received medical treatment following the bout, and received well wishes from throughout the boxing community who wished him a speedy recovery. In fact, promoter Eddie Hearn said the Belfast fighter was conscious and talking and awaiting the results of a CT scan at the time of writing. Conlan and Wood have been seen on social media congratulating each other. I'm probably looking forward to another rematch. Elsewhere on the card, Irishman Gary Cully, who's now undefeated, 14-0 with 8 knockouts, picked up the biggest win of his career as he claimed a 5th round stoppage over veteran Miguel Vasquez, who's now 44-11 with 17 knockouts of his own. Cully dropped Vasquez in the 3rd, and while the Mexican showed great heart and courage to continue, another big combination from Cully in round 5 was enough to end the contest, handing the Irishman a massive win. Also on that card, Nico Lavars also entered the paid ranks in styles. He successfully won his professional debut against Jose Hernandez. Lavars, who's 1-0, dropped Hernandez in round 4 on his way to a comfortable 40 to 34 points win. A fight that we've been talking about for a couple of weeks, taking place in Deadwood Mountain this past weekend in Deadwood, USA, that's South Dakota. Adrian Bossman Holmes fought through injury and survived a tough test in his return to the ring for the first time in 28 months, scoring a unanimous 10-round decision over Vernon Sub-Zero Brown in the main event of Showbox The New Generation, as part of an action-packed triple header on Showtime Friday night at the Deadwood Mountain Grand, taking place, as I said, in Deadwood, South Dakota. The Flint, Michigan middleweight prospect Holmes, who's now undefeated, 12-0, 5 knockouts, remained undefeated, fighting past the 8th round in the first time in his career, even while hurting his left hand sometime in the second round during a flurry of punches. "I was reborn tonight," Holmes said. "This performance showed that I still have it in me. I hurt my left hand in the second round. I couldn't punch how I wanted to. I was in a bunch of pain, but I pulled through. Thinking about my family pushed me through the pain." The 27-year-old Southpaw Holmes had a 194, 128, 129 edge in total punches while landing more than 40% of his power punches. A total of 280 of the combined 323 total punches landed were power punches. "He was the better man tonight," said Brown. "I give it to him. He studied me. He knew the punches I was going to throw. His corner kept yelling, 'Watch the right hook.' He did knock the wind out of me a couple of times with body shots. I had to take the second to recover. In the last round, he was catching with head shots. I need to work on my left hand. I need to be like Manny Pacquiao and work on my left hand because guys know I have the power of my right hook. But I'm going down to 147. That's my true weight." And congratulations to those fighters. In the co-main event, heavy-hitting lightweight Edwin De Los Santos, 14-1 with 13 knockouts, scored a devastating second-round knockout against Luis Acosta, who's now 12-1 with 11 knockouts of his own, and who suffered his first loss of his career. Acosta became the 211th fighter to have his undefeated streak snapped in the 21-year history of the Prospect Series. "One-hitter quitter for De Los Santos," Showbox analyst Brian Campbell said of De Los Santos. "Clean left cross that sent Acosta to the canvas as referee Mark Nelson had no choice but signaled the end of the fight at 48 seconds in the second round. It was a left hand that was just a thing of beauty," said International Boxing Hall of Famer and Showbox blow-by-blow announcer Barry Tompkins. Good for him. All right, elsewhere, we had an MTK fight on the weekend, and some of MTK Global's brightest prospects were in action on Friday, picking up a number of impressive victories. An action-packed card was held at Gray's Civic Hall in Essex, with Olympic gold medalist Shakobadin Soyrov on the bill, along with some of the best rising stars from the UK. Soyrov, 4-0 with 2 knockouts, had a successful return to the ring after nearly 3 years since his latest professional bout, as he claimed a comfortable 59-56 6-round points win over Brett Vito. Inder Bassi, who's now 6-1, defeated Charlie Sheldon, plus unbeaten Mitchell Pearson, who's 6-0-1, claimed his 6th professional win with a comfortable points win. Jordan Perkis, who's 3-0 with 1 knockout, claimed a victory, plus James Osborne, 1-0, was triumphant as he entered the paid ranks for the first time, defeating Sergey Ambomo, who's 40-37 on points after 4 rounds. Former Southern Irish champion Shaquille Day, who's 13-2 with 2 knockouts, came up short in his bout as he was stopped in the second round by Edvinas Papluskas. Elsewhere on Friday, Arnold Obadai had a successful professional debut, stopping Hassan Ossini in the first round, and all took place at York Hall in London. Meanwhile, Danny Murrell, 2-0 with 1 knockout, extended his undefeated record with a 4th-round stoppage win over Janos Penzis. Good fight action down in York Hall this past weekend. Upcoming, RDR Promotions will return to the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia with a big night of action. In a featured bout, Isaiah Wise will take on veteran Cameron Krael in the middleweight bout scheduled for 6 rounds. Wise, who fights out of Philadelphia, has a record of 10-2-2 with 6 knockouts. And the 29-year-old Wise is a 6-year veteran and has wins over previously undefeated Mike Danis Jr. and Enver Halili. Wise has won 3 in a row, and his latest outing, as he saw Dwayne win in the opening round in October 2021 at the 2300 Arena as well. Also seeing action will be undefeated welterweight Tamir Smalls taking on Jose Rodrigo Sosa in a bout scheduled for 6 rounds. Smalls, also out of Philadelphia, is 7-0 with 4 knockouts. The 22-year-old Smalls is a 3-year veteran coming off an opening round stoppage over Seth Basler on February 19th in Melrose, Massachusetts. Sosa, who's fighting Paraguay, is 3-3 with 3 knockouts. The Sunshines coming off a loss to J.I. Tucker on October 30th, 2021, which took place in New York. For all other information regarding fights taking place that night, please go along to boxing247.com, as there are quite a few other bouts to announce. Jason Cunningham defends his EBU belt against Terry Couviour on April 16th in an upcoming fight. And that'll take place in Telford, England. The Telford International Arena will play host to European title action when Doncaster man Jason Cunningham makes a second defense of his EBU super bantamweight belt against the unbeaten Frenchman Terry Couviour on Saturday, April 16th, and that'll be live on BT Sport. Hugely popular Stoke middleweight Nathan Heaney also features with a defense of his IBO International Championship, plus two absolutely cracking fights with WBC International Silver belts at stake. Former British, Commonwealth, and IBF International Bantamweight Champion Brad Foster from Litchfield makes his return to the ring following his disputed defeat to Cunningham in Birmingham back in October, and he takes on the highly rated Spaniard Inuit Balutu, the former WO European champion. In a fight that is guaranteed to spark fireworks, Telford native Leon Davies defends his WBC Super Bantamweight belt against Liverpool fireman Andrew Kane, with the pair having encountered with each other 3 times in the amateur ranks. The Iceman Cunningham, 30-6 with 6 knockouts, will be looking to extend his winning streak to 7, a form line that has seen him seize the European title from Gamel Yafai in May 2021 and increase his belt collection at the expense of Foster. The 32-year-old last tasted defeat when he took on world title challenger Michael Conlan back in December 2018. Those stories coming back around full circle, I suppose. Across the pond, taking place in Montreal, Kim Clavel is going to face Yesenia Gomez on April 21st for a WBC title. This will take place at the Cabaret in the Montreal Casino in Montreal, Canada, as I say, on April 21st. It's now official. WBC #1 contender Kim Clavel, who's 15-0 with 3 knockouts, will face WBC world champion Yesenia Gomez, who's 19-5-3 with 6 knockouts, who will defend her light flyweight belt for the 5th time, as I say, on Thursday, April 21st at the Cabaret, in an event entitled Irresistibles, co-promoted by Groupe Yvon Michel and Probellum, presented by Mise au Jeu. And tickets are now on sale. Clavel is now the WBC Silver Champion and has been dreaming about this WBC World Championship fight for a while. The day after her victorious fight at Montreal Casino, Clavel had her patience and waiting rewarded. And a press conference will be coming up to announce all the details. Essuman faces Darren Tetley in London on April 29th. That fight will be held at York Hall in London, where Essuman will defend his British, Commonwealth, and IBF European welterweight titles against Darren Tetley at York Hall, live on BT Sport. On a night when Frank Bourne and Queensbury will again provide a showcase for their multitude of elite prospects, Southampton featherweight Ryan the Piranha Garner will fight for a first title and the vacant WBC International Silver Championship, plus 2 unbeaten talents collide at middleweight. Nottingham's Essuman, who's 16-0 with 7 knockouts, known as Ekow the Engine, impressively seized the Lonsdale belt from former champion Chris Jenkins in July of last year and made a spectacular defense in October against the previously unbeaten Danny Ball, who was brutally knocked out in the 6th round. Bradford's Tetley, who's 21-2 with 9 knockouts, won the WBO European title in May 2015 against Mason Cartwright and remained unbeaten for a further 4 fights before losing out in a thriller against Liam Taylor in August 2020. A challenge for the vacant English title against Samuel Antwi did not go his way in February of last year, but the 28-year-old got back into winning ways in November. Garner, who's 24 years of age, has long been regarded as one of the brightest prospects on the UK scene, and his 11-0 record features 6 impressive stoppages. He was stepped up in November against the 9-1 Angolan Pedro Manuel Gomes and passed this test with flying colors over 8 rounds. Now he wants to be in big fights and replicate his amateur experience that saw him reach minor finals at the age of 11 before winning 2 schoolboy championships. He also reached the quarterfinals of the World Junior Championships as well as bagging European gold at a junior level. In a battle of middleweight unbeatens, James Hennigan, 6-0 for Merseyside, jumps in with Finchley's Jonathan Kumotio, who's 3-0 with 1 knockout. Also in action at York Hall is a Buckhurst Hill super bantam, Adam Muhammad, who's 4-0 with 1 knockout. Cranley super welterweight, Levi Frankham's going, who's now 2-0 with 1 knockout. Beckham lightweight, Muhammad Balil Ali is 4-1 with 1 knockout. Former amateur superstar Charles Frankham, 4-0 with 2 knockouts. From Crawthorne is back in action at super featherweight, along with ex-Team G product Callum Thompson, who's 3-0 with 1 knockout. And Joe Gallagher trained lightweight from Liverpool. 2 recent Queensberry signings complete the card, with featherweight Raven Chapman, who I've highlighted before, who's 2-0, having her 3rd fight in her professional ranks, and Blue Bowers from Fairham making his debut at super bantamweight. Good stuff coming out of Queensberry to take place, as I said, at York Hall, April 29th. In other news, we see that Nonito Donaire from Philippines is going to be joined on the Probellum roster by an unbeaten Filipino fighter, Carlos James Martin. He's the latest Filipino fighter to join the ranks at Probellum. Martin is 18-0 with 15 knockouts. Joins fellow countryman and iconic boxing name Nonito Donaire and Donnie Mientes in signing promotional deals with the global boxing promoter that launched last year. The hard-hitting Martin, known as Wonder Boy, challenges for the vacant WBA Asia Super Bantamweight title this Saturday in Paranaque City, Philippines, and the 22-year-old is determined to use Probellum's backing to represent his country at the highest level, just as Donaire, Nietes, and the great Manny Pacquiao have done before him. Said Carl Martin. He said, "For the last 2 or 3 years, my team and I have been carefully studying all possible options and situations that will lay the groundwork for my international boxing success. Our patience has paid off, and joining Probellum has been worth the wait. While the company itself is only a few months old, the team behind it are second to none from a boxing and business point of view." Fantastic stuff. More great news from Probellum. Finally, a quick note. It's good to see Summer Lynn has been picked up. We all know Rick Ramos, who's pretty famous for his work with Jessica McCaskill. Anyway, he and Summer Lynn have gotten Summer Lynn signed to Fight Stars, one of the fastest emerging boxing media companies in the world. And Ramos, who's their director of female boxing operations, are really happy at announcing Summer Lynn have signed her to a promotional contract with that company. A native of Chicago, Lynn, who's 6-0 with 3 knockouts, was also Silver Gloves and Junior Olympics champion before turning professional in late 2019. Blessed with an aggressive and unrelenting, fan-friendly fighting style, in her most recent ring appearance, Lynn picked up Universal Boxing Organization World Female Welterweight Championship with a unanimous decision over then 4-2 Brenda Gonzalez in August of last year. Said Lynn, "I'm really happy about this opportunity. I look at it as being a chance to bring awareness to the sport I love." Lynn, who's 20 years old, started boxing for Ramos as a youngster and has remained under his tutelage throughout her amateur and professional careers, says the signing with Fight Stars TV and Ramos was an easy decision given their close relationship. "I trust Rick with my life, so signing with him and Fight Stars was never a question. Rick brought me to Vegas to meet Fight Stars CEO Patrick Oakes and his team, and they watched me spar and agreed to signing me right away." So congratulations to another great female boxer and female boxing in general as they really pick up as we move forward into 2022. Great signing, great announcement, and we look forward to more action from the women this year, especially upcoming in April. All right, boxing fans around the world, thank you for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight. We look forward to seeing you at 4 p.m. when I'm joined by Mike Orr at 4 for Knuckle Up. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you then.